here's what I did this week on the farm. I tried mowing things and my tires were like fully flat. They were kind of flat the last time I went to mow, and I just assumed it was because I didn't fully fill them up the first time I mowed. And then now I realized it was just like the tires were just like cracked and not fully functioning, so they had to be fully replaced. My mom was still here, so she helped me like kind of figure out the jack, which was fun. And then on top of that, the main priority was getting the beds ready. So I pulled off the tarps. So once I pulled off the tarps, I realized that there was still quite a bit of perennial grass that was left over. So I put two tarps
Oh my
back
God.
on
Oh
in
my
the
God.
spaces that had kind of the most perennial grass action. And then before putting those tarps back on, I
Boo!
disked the area that I was leaving bare for me to make my first few beds. And I think the next time I disc, I'm going to make sure I add weights to the back. I'm going to do like a plank with cinder blocks and ratchet straps instead of like buying suitcase weights. But I do think it'll help go down a little bit deeper. So then once I disked, I put the two tarps back on. And then my mom went back to LA, and then my friend Alex visited, and she helped me mark out the bed and path spacings, and we got digging on the first bed. That kind of helped me put in perspective how long it might take to do as many beds as I had planned. So I retarped everything else. Then once my friend Alex got here, we marked out the first 11 beds that are going to fit in the uncovered space. So I retarped the furthest part of the marked out section, and then I decided to just like retarp all of the section because I just like my no chill book says to keep everything covered as long as possible. I feel like it would keep the soil more workable. So my plan now is just to like move the tarp back each time I dig a bed, and then every time I dig a bed, plant it that day. And so part of that is going to be getting my drip tape. So I'll be picking that up next week. And I met with my guy Brent. He's going to be helping me set up water lines and everything. So everything's really getting started. My seedlings are really going. I'll have my irrigation figured out next week, which is perfect timing. I also did just like general seedling care, kept everything watered. It was quite sunny, so I was watering like 3 times a day. I'm hoping that like once I have a week where there's no 30s at night, I'm gonna make the transition with like the bigger seedlings into the big greenhouse. I have a little setup in there with like a tent and remay and those big permanent seedling tables. And when my friend Alex was here, we went on a little orchard walk after we did some bed digging. We kind of just like looked at what all the different fruit trees might be. There's unfortunately quite a few Bradford pears in there, but there's some like really beautiful flowering trees back there, which was really nice. I am going to go dig some more beds and lay out some amendment, but I will catch you next week for week 14.